Hey there pranksters, welcome back, and first off I'd like to apologize to everyone for not posting a brand new video in over a month. I've gotten many comments and messages asking, what happened to me? Why did I disappear for such a long time? Well, pretty much guys, a week into June 2020 I was unfortunate enough to catch COVID-19. Yeah, I know it sucks. Well, during that time, I was in the process of remodeling my workstation at home and setting up a new gaming area. So in this video, I will be showing you guys exactly what I did and how I was able to come up with my dream editing and gaming setup, which is worth over $15,000 altogether. Now, before I show you guys exactly how I built my dream setup, I'd like to announce the giveaways for this video, and these are really high like goals that we need to reach, but it's very doable guys. So once this video gets 50,000 likes by the end of 2020, I will choose a winner from the comments, and that person will have a chance to pick either an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, which the winner will get in the mail this fall. Now guys, if this video gets 200,000 likes before December 31st, 2020, I will make one of my fans' dream gaming setups a reality, as the winner will get their very own gaming setup, which will consist of a desk, game console of their choice, a microphone, monitor, headset, laptop, capture card, and GoPro to live stream. Oh, and yes, a gaming chair as well, so you're comfortable when you're playing your favorite games for hours. Now, in order to make these giveaways possible, we need to reach those like goals as I mentioned, and guys, to be able to participate, all you have to do is like this video and leave a cool comment below telling me what your dream gaming setup consists of. I will choose the winner randomly, but it does help if you try to stand out with a cool comment below. One last thing guys, please subscribe to my channel and continue supporting my content. Alright then guys, let's get started, check it out. Just like many of you, I myself had really high hopes for 2020. But halfway through it, now we know that it could possibly go down as the worst year of our lifetime. So during my state's lockdown, I was playing a lot of FIFA and a lot of Warzone, and unfortunately during that time, my monitor decided to take a shit on me and die. That's right, it stopped working. And as you can see behind me, the gap between my iMacs, that's where my gaming monitor used to be. It was a cheap $99 piece of junk, so it didn't hurt to throw it away in the trash. Now, my first instinct was to get on Amazon and order myself a newer, more high-end monitor, and yeah, that's what I did. But I didn't stop there. While I was at it, I pretty much decided to replace everything and modify what I couldn't replace in order to have a more comfortable and unique work and gaming station. So yeah, if you look in the description below, I will list all the major components and gadgets that I bought to make this new setup possible. And you might say that I might have gone overboard with my purchases, but I'm really happy with the end results. Now, the idea for all this was planned out in May 2020, and as June hit, most of the items that I had ordered were already delivered and I was ready to get started on putting everything together. But as we all know, 2020 has been very unpredictable and bad overall. Somehow the state of Arizona, which is where I live, started to get really high cases of COVID-19 at an alarming rate. I would have never imagined that I would catch the virus, but I did somehow. Anyway, with a positive test result, I had a quarantine for a few weeks. Was that perfect timing? I'll say hell no. I doubt anybody would want to catch COVID-19, so being stuck at home alone, well, with just my dog, isolated from everyone, there was not much I could do but work on my setup. Some people that saw my previous setup told me to leave it alone, that it didn't need any work, but I knew that I could do better than what you see right here. I especially am not a fan of cables and wires all over the place, and to me this setup just looked way too plain and nothing original at all, so it just had to go. I started off by clearing up everything from the walls, which wasn't much, just my 2020 calendar, which although it has been a crappy year, the models on there were pretty hot. My silver play button also had to come down. That's what a YouTuber gets when they reach 100,000 subscribers. It was just hanging on there with the help of some push pins. This chair that you see right here will be replaced, so I'll just pull it out from the desk and move things around. My 21-inch iMac will be part of my new setup, so this one I will just move into the other room so that I can clean it and add black wrap on it. The Xbox One S and all its accessories such as the controller and the headset will no longer be needed for my next setup, and they will all be upgraded to the best there is out there. This Blue Yeti has definitely helped me out a lot when it comes to doing voiceovers, but unfortunately I'm retiring it as my main microphone. My 27-inch iMac will also be part of my next setup, so I too will wipe it clean and add a new darker wrap on it to give it a better look. This giant looking printer I've had for over 5 years. and it has seen better days, and therefore it has printed its last sheet of paper. Once I had gotten everything off the desk, this is what I'm left with. Just an old L-shaped desk with glass tops, and to be completely honest with you guys, I could have easily replaced it for something better, but this desk to me has more value than you guys could imagine, so I'm keeping it. In 2015, I bought it off some guy on Craigslist for 60 bucks, and since then this desk has definitely paid for itself. I just can't see myself getting rid of it, and the thing about me is that I always stick with my old desks. For example, the previous desks that I had, which were 2 desks that I put together to make an L shape, are just sitting in a garage dusting away. Those I had from 2002 until 2015. That is a very long time. Anyway guys, I am gonna take the glass tops off and remove them from the room. The printer stand also had to be moved. Now it was time to get some paint and rollers out, and my choice of paint was black paint. You just can't go wrong with such color. This air duster helped me out in more ways than one. For example, here it allowed me to get rid of unwanted dust and made it easy for me to start applying painter's tape on the walls. I also needed to protect a portion of the carpet with some tape and plastic to avoid any paint drips on it, because really nobody wants to deal with those stains on the carpet, right? So it took me quite the effort, but I was able to get the blue painter's tape on the sections of the wall that needed it. Unfortunately, I called it a night at this point and let the tape sit there, and the following morning I came back to this. The tape just couldn't stay put, and you know I blame myself for this, for being cheap and getting some really low quality painter's tape. Later on, I went to the store and was able to fix that with better quality tape. Now the walls and the carpet were ready. It was time to start painting. Initially, I thought that the paint job would be a piece of cake. And don't get me wrong, after the first coat, I was pretty confident about my work. But then came those little annoying details, and those took a little bit of time, but I got through those. Even though I was in quarantine, good thing I wasn't bored to watch paint dry, so I went downstairs to work out a bit. After a few hours, it was time for the second coat, and even though it was easy, I ended up being physically sore from painting these walls. And notice that I painted only 2 walls, which make up the main corner in my home office. Overall, I spent $35 on this paint and painting supplies, which of course was not bad at all. Once I peeled off the tape and plastic off the walls and carpet, I was left with this. Not the best of jobs, but also not the worst paint job ever. There was some drips on the baseboard, but nothing too crazy. As for the floor, I wasn't too happy with the dirty carpet, so of course I had to go and bust out the steam cleaner and have a go at it until I was satisfied. Once both the carpet and walls dried up, it was now time to start putting things together, and luckily one of my good friends helped me build these acoustic panels for better sound. Not only will these make my walls look better, but also they will help when it comes to recording sound. They're very easy to hang up on the walls, and I went with burlap fabric and I kept it simple with black and charcoal colors. I also custom made a few to actually cover my windows to keep sunlight from coming in. As far as most of the upper part of both walls, I did cover them with some acoustic foam, and these came compressed inside these packs. I bought these 2 packs of 48 1-foot squares for $46 per pack. I had to open them carefully and let them expand and sit still for 2 whole days. To hang these up on the walls, I used command strips and Scotch mounting tape. I went with the classic pattern to make things look better. Pretty much I covered all the areas that needed to be covered. I did leave gaps for certain wall decorations, and had I not built the acoustic panels, I probably would have needed more foam squares. Towards the bottom portion ends of the walls, I did run out of foam squares, but luckily I was able to cut out a few to create these really cool designs on the bottom ends of the walls. I went with diagonal cuts. It was a good thing I painted the walls black because the foam squares tend to separate, but it's hard to notice because of the dark walls. The decorations on the walls will consist of a few things that mean a lot to me. For example, here in this glass frame, I put in there one of my very first masks I ever made. Not only that, but this mask I have used the most out of all the masks that I own. Well, now I will be retiring it and putting it on display. As far as the other frame, I will fill it up with some decorations such as this YouTube logo because of course YouTube is my life. In 2008, I started making money off my videos, and my first payout ever was of $101. Well, I did spend the $100, but that extra dollar I folded it up into a shirt, so I will keep it with me forever. And just so you know, this money I did not make on YouTube. It was actually on another video sharing site called MetaCafe. If it wasn't for that website, I probably wouldn't have started making videos as early as I did. Next to that logo, I put a Mexican flag that I got back in 2005. Yeah, it's pretty old. Now these two little characters that you see right here are a ferret and a squirrel. These are the original cutouts from the very first video I ever made. It was titled, How to Make Your Drawings Move. So of course, these hold a very special place in my heart. Since I took down my silver play button that I earned for gaining 100,000 subscribers back in 2013, I just had to dust it off and wipe it clean, and back on the wall it went. Now guys, in late 2016 I got my gold play button, and I feel very dumb for never hanging it up on a wall. But that's about to change because now my first 1 million subscribers can be acknowledged. Look how beautiful that looks, pranksters. I'm very proud of this gold play button, and I owe it all to all my loyal fans out there. When it comes to lighting, I knew that I had to get something awesome, and there was no way that I would miss the opportunity to get some Nanoleaf rhythm lights. I actually got ambitious and went with 15 panels. Now these I purchased for $300 total, which wasn't that bad because I was very impressed with these lights. They're very easy to assemble, but the hard part for me was to actually come up with a really cool design. So what I did was took down one of my acoustic panels and laid it on the floor, and after experimenting with a few designs and shapes, I decided to go with this. This N best represents me, and it actually came out looking better than I thought it would. I used all 15 panels for this design. Now the way that I stuck them onto the acoustic panel was with some Velcro, and yes, I also used hot glue. Overall, I think I did a very good job with these, and since this panel was already hung up, I placed it back to where it was, and that was it. These are just beautiful lights, and you can control the lighting and the brightness with the Nanoleaf app. Also, if you have smart devices with Amazon's Alexa or Google or Siri, you can turn these on and off as you please. The most impressive part about these for me was the rhythm function. The lights are displayed according to the beat of any song that you're playing. So yeah, these were definitely worth the $300 that I spent for them. At this point, I was pretty much done with all the wall work, and there were a few attachments that you see that I haven't talked about yet, but I will as we move on with the setup. Now I could finally start working on my desk, and as I stated, I would not be replacing my original desk, but for sure I will modify it and improve it. So I wiped it clean and put it back to its original place. With my trusty drill, I was able to make sure that my desk was put together right and that it was very sturdy. The frame of the desk isn't heavy at all. It's the actual glass tops that add a lot of weight to it. Luckily those stay put on top with the help of some suction cups. Once the glass tops were clean and dry, I was able to take out these desk pad protectors. I bought 4 of those for $20 each. So yeah, I spent about $80. 2 were white and 2 were black. Let me unroll this white one for you guys so you can see that it fits on my desk perfectly lengthwise. With the help of some double-sided mounting tape, I was able to stick it onto the desk with ease. I will repeat the same process to the other side of the desk, and again I used a white pad protector. The middle corner side of the desk I did cover up with a black pad. I did the best I could to be precise with my cut because I had to make a really weird cut on it so that I was able to cover the whole corner completely. Actually, I'm quite proud of how it came out looking. Now as far as the rest of the desk, it's not fully covered with any of the desk pads, but I easily fixed that by cutting out some pieces, and again I used double-sided mounting tape to keep them on. I really loved the look of the black and white, and the main reason was not to add color to the desk but rather add some cushion to the tops of my desk. Not being a fan of cables and wires all over the place, I just had to get these cable concealers, which I bought for $23. It's just a pack of 6. These I left on the back of the desk. They attach on pretty well without adhesive, but you can also use the double-sided tape that it comes with. To give power to all my gadgets, I spent $30 for this 12 outlet and 4 USB port extension. To stay with the trending colors, I kept it black. Below on my desk, there was a designated spot where I could attach the extension cord using Velcro. Now it was time for the gadgets, and the thing that started it all needed to be replaced. I looked all over Amazon for a good dual monitor and laptop mount that I could attach onto my desk, and then I finally found this one. It was this ViaSound mount, and it was only $90 to own it. The picture in the description matched my vision of how I wanted my desk to look. Unfortunately, when I opened this box, it was a bit intimidating, but I was able to put it together. Now guys, this mount, you can clamp it onto your desk, but I didn't trust the glass on mine. Luckily, this also gives you the option to drill it on a wall, and that's what I did. As you can see right here, it's already set up with acoustic foam surrounding it. All I did at this point was attach the adjustable arm mounts to the desired height. Once it was on and tightened, it was time to attach my new monitor on it. And after doing my research online, I found this 25-inch Scepter LED gaming monitor. This Scepter 25-inch LED gaming monitor I did buy for $250. It was just ideal for me, so I put it together and attached it to one of the arms on my mount. On the other arm mount, I attached my MacBook Air, which has a value of $1,100. It was very easy to do and it snaps on quite well. This will make adjusting my monitor and MacBook Air so easy and convenient. It was now time to put my iMacs back on the desk, but first I needed to wipe them clean with this awesome Calyptis screen cleaning kit. This was $10 for 2 bottles, but well worth it. Not only am I cleaning the screens on my iMacs, but I'm also going to put some new wraps on them. I got these from slickwraps.com for only $13 each. For my 27-inch iMac, I got this Gunsmoke color. Applying it on it was pretty easy, although sizing isn't as accurate, but I still made it work. As far as the other 21-inch iMac, I went with a darker color, and like I said, their sizing isn't as accurate because my Apple logo looks uneven, but that's okay, it looks more 3D now. So yeah, I do not recommend Slick Wraps just because they also take forever to deliver and bad customer service, but you don't need to spend a lot on these. You can cut out your own at home, just buy a cheap roll of carbon fiber vinyl and have fun cutting it out. I was lucky enough to get suggested this really cool monitor riser on Amazon. When I saw the ad for it, I just had to get it for my main 27-inch iMac. Not only does it free up room below it, it also comes with 4 USB ports, and that's not all. I can also wirelessly charge my phone by placing it on a designated pad right on the surface. I paid $90 for this device, but I couldn't pass it up. It just makes my desk look that much cooler. Once it was put together and on top of my desk, I was able to place my 27-inch iMac on top. By the way guys, the original price for this iMac was $2,200. As far as my 21-inch iMac, I too spent really good money on it. The original price for it was $1,500. That one is gonna go on the opposite end of the desk. Since I would repurpose my Blue Yeti, not only would I replace the microphone but also the arm that is attached to it. Even though that arm was flexible, it was too basic and I wanted something that looked better. Luckily, I was able to find this very cool Vivo microphone arm for $80. It is definitely what I was looking for. It's super adjustable and I can use it in many different ways. This microphone is meant to be mounted on a desk with a clamp-like mechanism, but I never trust those because the slightest movement on your desk and it will disrupt any sound that you are recording. Here's what I did prior to setting up the acoustic foam on the walls. I drilled a makeshift shelf using spare wood I had left over from the acoustic panels. I had to use 4 shelf brackets so that it would stay sturdy and firm on the wall. With some leftover carbon fiber vinyl, I wrapped it on so that it would look nice and it wouldn't be an eyesore. All I did was position the arm on it and tighten the clamp on the bottom so it would stay put. I was really impressed with how versatile and flexible this microphone arm was, but now it was time to put it to the test. Like I said, the Blue Yeti was old news and its replacement was gonna be even better. My first option was the Shure SM7B, but at the time it was sold out, and since I've always been a fan of Rode products, I ended up getting this cool NT1 condenser microphone which came with a USB audio interface. The price was not that bad, just $350 for this bundle. Setting it up was pretty quick, and although this is an XLR mic, it can easily be plugged into one of the USB ports on my iMac. I had no issues connecting it to the Vivo adjustable arm. Just as expected, the new arm mount passed with flying colors. I had no issues with it once I adjusted the tightness on the screws. The fact that this microphone doesn't rest on any part of the desk gives me the confidence to record audio without having to worry about the mic picking up vibrations from the desk or any nearby electronics. Let's just adjust the arm here and keep the mic out of the way for now. Since I did this during the summer of 2020, nor the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X have been released yet, and I had to upgrade to something better than the Xbox One S. My best option at this time was to go with the Xbox One X, and for an inflated price of $450, that's what I got. Yeah, thanks a lot, coronavirus. Not only is this a great entertainment system, yeah, you can play your favorite games on it, you can also download your favorite apps such as Netflix or YouTube. I also love the fact that it's black, which goes with my color scheme of my new setup. I unfortunately won't be using the standard controller that it comes with, but that's okay. I'll keep it as a backup. The new Xbox fit perfectly under the monitor riser right below my 27-inch Mac. It looks very nice as it has its own housing unit and it will stay protected from dust but has plenty of room for ventilation on the sides and the back for it to stay cool and it will not overheat. As I said, I will not be using the standard controller that it came with the Xbox One X I actually spent $180 for the Xbox Elite Controller Series 2. I figured I'd give it a shot since I had gotten very good reviews by some of the top gamers out there. Upon unboxing it, I was very impressed with how it looked, but more importantly how it felt, and I knew I had made a good investment by purchasing it. I love the fact that I can switch out certain components such as the joysticks with ease. They're all magnetic. The paddles on the bottom threw me off at first, but I know I'll find good use for them once I get the hang of the controller. The charging port came integrated inside the zip-up carrying case. All I do is place the controller on top after each game session and let it charge. Battery holds up pretty well, up to 40 hours per full charge. Another option is to charge it as you play. Like I said, it's an overall great gaming investment. Lately, I've been pretty hooked on playing Warzone with friends, and I could snipe for hours, but I hated the way that my Turtle Beach wireless headset couldn't keep up with me. I knew they had to go as soon as I decided to upgrade my gaming setup. It took me a bit to actually choose a good replacement headset, but after some research, I went with the Astro A50 wireless headset for Xbox. This one also included the base station, which is very convenient for charging after a long game. I can just mount it on and it'll charge. On the description it says that you get a good 20 hours of use for a full charge, which is not bad. Now if you were to play for longer than that, you can actually charge them as you play. Now this particular headset I did not purchase on Amazon. I actually got them from their main website, which is astrogaming.com. Reason being is that they offered the color that I wanted, which was black. Otherwise, I would have been stuck with that green color I'm not a big fan of. This wireless headset I got for $300 plus tax. Fortunately, I was able to get on YouTube and found a review on these, and there was a discount code on that video that I watched. It saved me $15, which I really can't complain about. So yeah guys, if you ever purchase something online, please look for a discount code on any YouTube video that reviews that product. It's totally worth it. I'm very happy with these Astro A50s, and I feel like I made the right purchase. It gives me full control of the audio, and I can game for hours without having to worry about battery life. So this Amazon Tap that you see right here, I've had for almost 4 years, and while I've been happy with it overall, it has started to disobey me. And what I mean by that is when I tell Alexa to do something, she either doesn't hear me or chooses to not follow my commands. It's super annoying to deal with, so I had to upgrade to the latest Echo Studio for only $200. This thing is huge compared to the Tap, but there's a reason why it's bigger. It comes with 5 speakers that generate some amazing audio, which is perfect for when I want to listen to my favorite tunes. A great feature is that I no longer have to press the button to ask it to do something. All I have to do is call on Alexa's name. I can also turn off her microphone so she can stop listening to my conversations. Eventually, I'll be able to control all my smart devices using this Echo Studio, and that includes my Nano Leaf lights. To add more color and padding to my desk, I ordered 2 large RGB gaming mouse pads for about $22 each. They're very easy to place on, and it covers enough space so I'll have enough room to maneuver my mouse throughout the desk. Again, my color scheme was the deciding factor when I purchased some of these items. For example, I had to buy some silicone keyboard covers. I wanted the keys to be black. I actually bought covers for all my keyboards, including the one on my MacBook. The mouse too, I wanted it to be black, and thankfully I ordered some wraps for it, and well, look at that. Looks way better than it did before. I actually did this to the other mouse as well. So far, everything looked great at this point, but I did forget to peel off the protective plastic on the gaming monitor. I knew something didn't look right. Now that looks better. These are the external hard drives that I rely on a lot when I edit my videos. If we add up all the storage room within these 4 hard drives, it amounts to about 18 terabytes. So a total of $500 were spent on these. 2 of these I will stack behind the microphone arm. The white one fit perfectly next to the Xbox One X. This one actually gives me 2 extra USB ports that I can use to my convenience. On top of that will be my portable hard drive, and next to that will be the case that holds my SD cards. On the left side of the desk, I brought back the printer stand, and yes guys, I did dust it off and made sure to use some glass cleaner to make it look nice. Like I said at the start of this video, I would be replacing my old printer seeing as it was on its last legs. I decided to still stick with the HP brand. I'm a big fan of their all-in-one printers, so I just had to get this Office Jet Pro 9015 for $230. It's pretty basic but still does all I needed to do, such as print, scan, copy, and fax. To be honest with you guys though, I don't really have much use for this printer, but from time to time it will come in handy, and since this setup is in my home office, I just had to have a good working printer. Something appealing about this printer is also the color. It was white and gray, which goes great with my color scheme. The next addition to my setup I was really excited about because it was something I desperately needed. For $175 including shipping, I was able to get this nice little black cooler, which is the perfect size to fit just about anywhere. Upon unboxing it, I noticed something that at first I found to be very disappointing, and that was that the see-through door actually opened in the wrong direction. Luckily, once I went through the manual, I noticed that I could switch out the hinges so that I could have the door open the right way. In order to accommodate this mini cooler under the printer, I had to remove the middle glass shelf. It actually came in handy stacked up on top of the other shelf. Not only would it reinforce it, but also it would be able to stick out just enough for the mini cooler. I really dodged a bullet when I fixed the door issue, otherwise it would have been something annoying I'd have to put up with. On the other side of the desk, I positioned a 3-drawer file cabinet that was just the right size for my liking. This was actually quite cheap. I only paid $55 for it. Now I'll be able to keep my important documents organized and out of the way. I also like that the top drawer comes with a lock, so that'll come in handy as well. When it comes to trash, my old setup was pretty bad. I had the smallest of trash bins, and that thing could hardly hold any trash in there, which explains why I always had a mess on the floor. Well, that's about to change with this beast of a trash bin. I never thought that I would spend so much money on a trash can, but I did just that. I gave Amazon $70 in exchange for this touch-free electric trash bin. Not only do I not have to open it myself, but it also comes with a filter inside to keep the air around it fresh and smelling good. All I have to do is have my hand near the sensor and the lid opens automatically. And after a few seconds of inactivity, it closes back up. And this I will be leaving next to the file cabinet. Now guys, we all know that a good gaming editing room or pretty much any office has to have snacks. This was always a must for me, so I bought me a box of 40 snacks. It's a typical giveaway that I've had in previous videos. I lost count of how many of these I've sent to fans in the past. Well anyway guys, this box contains chips, cookies, crackers, and other Frito-Lay's goodies. But unfortunately, no Hot Cheetos Extra. So I went to my local Walmart and got me a few bags, along with a bag of these hot wing flavored pretzels and my favorite chocolate bars, Kit Kats. To keep all these snacks together, I bought a $26 rotating snack organizer. Putting it together was very simple and I did it very fast. The perfect location to put this was on top of the file cabinet, and I gotta point out, I got just the right amount of snacks in there. They're perfect for the rotating snack organizer. To me, it just gives it a nice, clean, appealing look, and of course, the center of attention have to be the Hot Cheetos Extra. Moving on, back to the mini cooler. I filled it up with some of my favorite drinks, which include mainly Pepsi products such as Gatorade, Mountain Dew, Aquafina, and of course my favorite drink, Pepsi. I've also included pouches of Kool-Aid and a few Red Bull cans to keep me wide awake when I'm gaming or editing a very long video. Now this cooler is stacked, and in a few hours it will have plenty of cold drinks ready for me. By the way guys, if you haven't noticed, when I plugged in the cooler, the blue LED lights turned on, which gives it an extra cool look like it was made for this room. So far I've placed everything where it needs to go and all my new gadgets are in position, but I haven't done the most annoying part and wire and plug everything together. The goal here is to keep cables out of the way and not be too visible, so with the help of these tags, velcro ties, and some cable organizers, I will achieve that. And well, I did the best job that I could, which wasn't too bad. It really does help that the desk frame, background, and most cables are black. They all blend in together. These strips of RGB lights I got last minute because I didn't think that I would have enough lighting for my setup. Each box contains a 16-foot strip of lights which can easily be controlled with your remote that's included with each box. But pretty much all you need is one remote to control both strips. I thought about this long and hard, but I decided to stick these on the bottom edge of the acoustic foam squares. The line wasn't so straight, but it didn't really matter as the lights will mask any imperfection. I love the fact that I kept the lights below eye level because that way they don't distract me or bother me when I'm gaming or editing. Plus it gives it a really cool glow underneath the desk, especially when the lights are off. For added storage, I bought this $10 3-drawer storage organizer. I didn't like the fact that the drawers were transparent, but I easily fixed that with some black microfiber vinyl. This I kept next to the mini cooler. I'm sure it'll come in handy when I buy excess snacks. I'll just put them in there and keep them out of the way. On the left side of the desk, I left a gap because I wanted to make enough room for my trusty paper shredder. You never really know when you're gonna need to destroy evidence, right guys? Well, this is the perfect gadget for that. For $13, I got this cool adjustable headset holder that I conveniently clamped onto the side of the desk. Now I can hang my Beats headphones, which I originally bought for $300. For streaming my gameplay online, I'll be using a few gadgets I got online, such as an Elgato game capture card, which I got for an inflated price of $200. I'll also be using this cool looking Elgato 32 button Stream Deck. This I got for $250. It's a must have if you want to be an entertaining streamer. Unfortunately, all the good cams were taken and sold out due to most people buying them in high numbers because they were working from home, of course, due to the coronavirus. I guess a lot of people really want to look good in their Zoom calls, which I don't blame them, you know, they gotta look professional. Well, no biggie, because my GoPro Hero, which I bought a couple years ago for $350, does a way better job than any webcam, and that I will hook up to OBS with the help of an HDMI adapter audio and video grabber. By the way guys, you can catch me streaming on Twitch. The link of my Twitch channel is in the description, as well as my new YouTube gaming channel. I'll see you guys there soon. Moving on, I needed a couple more decorative items, so I bought this cholo looking bear for 26 bucks. The bear in Spanish translates to El Oso, so I named this bear El Ese. Another cool decorative item that I found at Amazon was this cool Moe Szyslak Funko Pop toy. He is my favorite character from The Simpsons, so I just had to get him, and he was not expensive at all. I only paid $5 for him. Alright guys, and last but not least, I'm retiring my old chair, which I've had for about 2 years already. Now when it comes to gaming chairs, there are so many options to choose from, and sometimes you can't go wrong with whatever brand you decide to go with because you're either on a budget or you require a certain quality and comfort level. At first I was gonna go with the DX Racer, but they would take forever to get me my chair, and my budget for that chair at the time was $400. But then I decided to go all out and get me a much better chair, and not only that, but I wanted mine to be custom made with my new Next logo on both the front and the back of the seat. So I went with a Maxnomic chair, which was quite pricey at $670 overall. It came in such a huge heavy box that the idea of unboxing it and putting the chair together seemed like a chore. Thankfully I was wrong, and I was able to put this chair together with ease. It seemed like it was already assembled at the factory. I just had to put the two big pieces together, which again was not hard at all. I was really happy with how my chair turned out. It's exactly how I imagined in my head that it would look. But looks aren't everything guys. When it comes to gaming chairs, it's all about the comfort, and I was amazed by this chair. I could sit on this chair and just game or edit for hours. In fact, I could actually pull back the lever and just take a nap from time to time to rest my eyes. I pretty much loved everything about this chair, except that maybe the price was too high, but hey, the old saying of you get what you pay for holds true. You pay a really high price for a quality item with this chair. That pretty much concludes my setup guys. With everything in place and arranged as I wanted it to be, I am now ready to start gaming and pretty much edit this video. I'm not gonna lie though, it did take me a few days or actually weeks to complete this setup. It wasn't just about organizing, but waiting on items to come in, and sometimes I would have one item holding back the process. But overall, I did not stress about getting this corner of my office ready and looking like a studio gaming room editing room. I actually had fun, and you guys have to remember that I was officially on quarantine due to me catching COVID-19, so I pretty much had all the time in the world to make this happen. In an upcoming video, I will give you guys a full tour of my office so you can see pretty much every inch of this room and not just this fun corner I just created. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this demonstration, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it, as I'm trying to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of this ugly year known as Terrible 2020. Also remember about the giveaways I mentioned at the start of this video guys. Hopefully we can make those happen, but we gotta get those likes. With all that being said, pranksters, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Please stay safe out there and COVID free. I'll see you pranksters in my next video.